Distilled wisdom for an inspired life. Chop Wood, Carry Water is a book by Joshua Medcalf, and it's about falling in love with the process of becoming great. Out of this book, I have distilled 9 principles that we will look at together. And the first principle is, it's important what you become in the process. And for understanding this, it's important to recognize that for all work you do, whether it might be in the company, for your family, or for any other third party, in the end, you're ultimately working for yourself and on yourself. So loving the work you do means loving what you do all day long. And when we look at the outcome, what you can see is that it depends on many different factors, with some being inside of your control and lots of them being pretty much out of your control. So the question you have got to ask yourself is, do you really want to rate yourself against something which is only partly within your control? Let's take the application for a job, for example. For getting the job you desire, you certainly need a particular set of qualifications. And gaining those qualifications is also certainly within your control. But apart from that, you're also highly depending on the competition and on the qualification of your competitors. And if a competitor is well connected to the company who's in search of your dream job, you might come out empty-handed, even if you are the most suitable applicant. But what can you do? The answer is surrendering the outcome. It means being at peace of what is outside of your control without having to sacrifice the effort for what is inside of your control. In your control is the process, the how to get there, the way. Out of your control is the pure outcome. So focus on the process and focus on one thing at a time. The second principle is success contains hard work. And though success in specific might be defined differently from person to person, it still requires hard work. Work that is often done in the dark when nobody's watching. It consists of the small things that are often unsexy, but it requires performing those small things with persistence. The reason why most people don't get where they want to go is because they settle for average. They never give their very best. Instead, they exhaust themselves protecting their egos. So the next time you see someone you admire, remember that he doesn't mainly shine under the bright light, but that the bright light is what reveals the hard work performed in the dark. The sum of all small choices you make are what adds up to a big effect over time. Principle 3. Our value is constant. When we are in the team that is winning, it's easy to feel good and strong. But this is only half of the truth. The other half is that it's equally easy to feel down and depressed when you're on the losing side. Actually, our value doesn't change in dependence of what results we produce. So don't tie yourself too close to your performance. Find your identity in something that can't be stripped away in a jiffy. Principle number 4. The pain of regret is much bigger than doing can ever be. People who produce mediocre results persist until things are getting uncomfortable. At that point, they quit. People who get good results persist until things are getting painful, and then they quit. But people who grow to world class, they've taught themselves to stay comfortable even when things are getting uncomfortable and painful. They withstand the temporary pain. Even when setbacks and temporary failures make yourself feel uncomfortable for a certain time, the pain of regret always lasts much longer. So if you choose to do the uncomfortable, do what others don't, you will end up being capable to do what others can't. Principle number 5. Your memories are created through the stories you tell yourself. Our brain can't distinguish between the reality and reimagination. And through vivid imagination, we can train our memory muscle in a certain kind of way. Now, if you worry, you pull yourself down through negative visualization. But the same also works in the opposite direction. The words with whom we label our experiences are the filters to what they mean to us. So it's one thing what you feel or experience, but it's quite another what meaning you give it. And this is all the more important since we have little control about what happens to us in life. But we do have the power to determine what life's events mean to us. Our words and stories determine the pictures our mind is creating. Those pictures affect our feelings, and the feelings in turn have an effect on what we do. And with this, to which destiny in life we set ourselves up for. Principle 6 is comparison is the thief of all joy. Our society nowadays has become hyper-focused on comparing. And through the internet and through television, comparing is just a few clicks or a push on the remote control away. Everything and anyone can be compared. You will always find someone stronger, smarter, richer, someone labeled better than yourself. But in the end, comparing will suck all joy out of you. So focus on your journey and be thankful for the small things in life. Indeed, those small things can bring the greatest joys. Number 7. Live by principles rather than by feelings. Living on the fundament of feelings doesn't work out very well because feelings change. And that means your fundament is not very stable. Better seek out for principles to serve you as a guideline. Many principles have been applied since ancient times already, withstanding the test of time. Principle number 8 is saying the map you're given by society is outdated. In our society, parents, friends, media, educational systems, and so on do their best to give us a map regarding how to live your life. The map shows what rules existed in the world, what to do and what not to do. But the problem about those maps is that they are always related to the past. In a time in which 1 year brings more change than decades used to bring, those maps are outdated quite fast. Following truths of the past might lead you to a dead end today. Take digitalization for an example. Digitalization has caused great upheavals and created whole new markets. With YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, websites, blogs, you can address people worldwide that even a company with a widespread network couldn't address at all before. Reading a map is easy, but reading an outdated map brings very limited benefits, if benefits at all. Navigating the territory yourself is the really hard part. So get out and study the territory. Look at those that are already navigating in the new world successfully. It requires persistence and the willingness to experiment with the wisdom and the strategies from successful people. The last principle is you still need permission even when you're equipped with life-changing wisdom. This means don't impose your knowledge on others. If you have information that can change their life, it doesn't mean that they are ready to listen. And that's okay. In fact, most people will not be interested in your wisdom. And you can't force anybody to listen and to understand what you have to say. Imagine you're a doctor and you know what your best friend is lacking. Would that give you the permission to treat him, to do surgery on him without his approval? So provide your advice to those seeking or ask for permission. So what's the takeaway? First, it's important what you become in the process. Second, success contains hard work. Third, our value is constant. Four, the pain of regret is much bigger than doing can ever be. 5. Your memories are created through the stories you tell yourself. 6. Comparison is the thief of all joy. 7. Live by principles rather than by feelings. 8. The map you're given by society is outdated. 9. You still need permission even when you're equipped with life-changing wisdom. Follow those 9 principles and become better every day.